going to start things off. And Paul, I'm feeling the burn, I think. Who am Right, there we go. Wait. Oh, there he is. Bernie Sanders, everybody.
Bernie's bird.
All right. So we're talking about Bernie Sanders. All right. So let's get things started. I love our graphics.
I know.
Again,
they're pretty
you
great.
guys have made it happen. Oh, there he is again. You missed it.
Oh, damn it.
So let's get things started. It looks like finally Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren, I think the pleasantries are now over. Or they're starting to become over because now more and more people are trying to really decide, well, who's the stronger candidate. And Senator Bernie Sanders, in an interview, basically on ABC with John Carl, when asked about the differences between him and Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders basically stated this. There are differences between Elizabeth and myself, Sanders said. Elizabeth, I think, as you know, has said that she is a capitalist through her bones. I am not. I am, I believe, the only candidate who's going to say the ruling class of this country, enough with your greed and your corruption. We need real change in this country. And I couldn't agree more. Now, again, what's going to probably happen during the fourth Democratic debate? I mean, there's a lot of theories that have been going up in the air, whether or not Warren or Sanders might be critical of each other. But I think it's now time that we really talk about the differences between Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren. Now, was this bound to happen? Absolutely. This was going to happen. And on Friday's show with my fellow co-hosts Daniel Lupker and Paul DuPont, we talked about the differences between Sanders and Warren way back in 1991. It's quite clear, especially with her Capitalism Accountability Act, Senator Elizabeth Warren, where basically you're sitting down and telling corporations to be nice and treat your workers right and obey the laws and help out. It's one thing to wag your finger at them. It's another thing to actually pass strong legislation and actually call them out for what they are. And Bernie Sanders is the only candidate who has the consistent record to address the fact that we have a corrupt neoliberal system. And the only way you're going to hold this system accountable is actually by making sure these systems, the corporations, the Wall Street, big banks, accountable for their actions. And you need someone who's actually going to lead the initiative to bring in change. You just can't do half measures. And one of my concerns with Warren is that she will only do half measures and will still have the same system we've had before. But Eric, I kind of want to get your comments.
Yeah, I don't think she would even do half measures, Kit. And this kind of, I'm glad she said, when she said, I'm a capitalist to the bone. This really reveals who she really is, because you really can't say you're a capitalist and go ahead and say, well, I'm anti-racist. Well, you can't be anti-racist and be a capitalist. You can't be a capitalist and be a pro-environmentalism. You can't be a capitalist to the bone and say that you support ending, if you're anti-transphobia or you want to end homophobia.
But she's leading the polls, Eric.
Yeah, of course she is, because that's what the corporate media props up, people like her, pro-capitalist people. So what she's saying there is that she does not really care about those issues. She's a capitalist, so that means that the capitalist system profits off of people's oppression. And let me just say this too. You can't be a capitalist and say you're an anti-imperialist. Mm-hmm. You can't be a capitalist and say you're you want to fix the or you're against colonialism.
Right.
So Elizabeth Warren just revealed who she really is and what she really supports.
Well, I mean, we kind of already knew this because, again, I keep bringing this up, but let's talk about the very fact with that interview she did with Cenk Uygur, okay, on TYT.
Yeah, that
where she would take
she
corporate
wants to take corporate money, right?
And
so she'll be beholden to those people that give her money.
And then she gave that twist where, okay, well, I won't be there at these fundraisers, but people associated with my campaign will be there. But you're still, nonetheless, you're going to be taking corporate PAC money from those events. It's right. Nuts.
Right. Yeah. So she's really revealing who she is. Anyone that says that that they want to enact a capitalist or a capitalism accountability act, really just, you're also admitting that capitalism is inherently flawed and that this system is doomed to fail and it doesn't include everybody in it.
Right.
It needs to leave people out because capitalism needs things like poverty. It needs to keep a large section of the population in poverty in order to function. So she's admitting right there that capitalism sucks and it needs to go. But she obviously benefits from this system. She benefits from other people's oppression.
Right.
So-
So actually, I want to bring out 2 live stream chats. Trina B. Fine mentions that incrementalism will kill us. And then Schultzy 100 actually gives you a shout out. I agree with Eric on Warren. Half measures mean anything from half to a teaspoon or a pinch. And you know what?
Right.
I agree. But the only reason I was bringing up half measures
So-
because
so-
just in comparison to Bernie Sanders, I mean, he's been consistent for what? 40 plus years in
Right.
American politics. He's been on the right side of a lot of issues. And only now people like, I guess Warren and everyone else are just copying and pasting his ideas, even though he's been saying them since even before anyone here at Heartlands Media was born. So,
Right.
I mean, it says
so
a lot.
This is good because then these people like Warren are occupying like the kind of like the liberal space that Bernie was kind of hovering in 2016. So this can only push him left, and it should push him further left because we need him to go further left, especially in foreign policy.
Right.
So hopefully that's what he does. So when you hear Warren say, "Yeah, she wants to end the wars," she doesn't. When you hear her say that she cares about sexism, she doesn't. When you hear her say that she cares about racism, she doesn't. Because guess what? She's a capitalist to the bone, and that's what capitalism needs to thrive on is other people's oppression. So.
And just another thing too. This just kind of got our attention, and I want to. It's just something that I saw on social media, and I wanted to be a little bit more confirmation on it. Mind you, we try and read as many tweets as possible. We try and be as interactive with our social media as possible. We just got a lot to do on our plate, especially when coming up with working out here at the studio and everything else. But apparently, as it stands right now, even a surrogate for Warren's campaign
That's right.
has also been saying some controversial things, and apparently she is on a popular YouTube channel. I won't say no names, but I mean, it requires a little bit further investigation. But I mean, it's just
It just came out, I think.
it just came out. But it's again, there's a lot of things to really be critical of Warren, and more
There's
importantly,
a laundry list.
yeah, there is a laundry list. But one of the things that's always bothered me, and look, I believe that Warren is better than some of the other candidates up there. Okay, yeah, but she's not my top 3 choices. My top 3 choices, and I'm gonna be consistent again. Senator Bernie Sanders is my first choice. Tulsi Gabbard's my second choice. Andrew Yang is my third choice. But my criticism of Warren has to deal with this, and that goes back to 2016. When given the
Right.
opportunity to really address the fact that there was election fraud happening, she didn't step up. And given the fact that she was, and this is before her DNA test revealed that she doesn't have Native American blood in her, when given the opportunity and the task to stand with the water protectors at the Dakota Access Pipeline protests, she did not step up until only after Obama gave the order to halt the
Right.
construction. But when you look at people who were there, Representative Tulsi Gabbard was there with the water protectors. Dr. Jill Stein and Ajawu Baraka of the Green Party were there with the
That's
water
right.
protectors. Warren should have been there in theory. And I fear that she is somebody who only jumps on board when something seems safe to support it. And you just can't risk something like that. And already she's kind of given a little bit of ammunition to Trump. And it's just, again, because I don't want to elaborate too far into it, but it's just one of my criticisms of Warren. And I'm wondering how this forced debate will turn out. But again,
She just proves every day that she can't be trusted. Just things that she's said and done in the past and present, especially with things like this, she cannot be trusted. So
and I think I'm going to give this final note to actually Schultz 100. You're on point today in the live stream chat. Bernie Sanders, you're basically saying he's been in the game consistent for a long time, practically 40 years. Bernie, he's our guy. At least that's my feeling. All right, and Schultz 100, the final note for our
Yep.
first